Hey, what is up guys, my name is Luis. Today we're comparing the MP7 against the Milano. So since the Milano got so popular with the 3x scope, I thought to myself what other weapons would be fun to test out with this configuration. And so here we have the MP7 with the VLK 3x optic. Yes, I know this is a bit ridiculous, but why not? The meta is pretty stale right now, why not have some fun and try something new? In this video you will see a comparison with stats, best attachments, recoil patterns and more. If this is your first time here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button as I make tips and tricks in Warzone and much more. Let's look at the weapon stats here. The MP7 has an ADS speed of 196 milliseconds and the Milano comes in at 163 milliseconds. Movement speed of the MP7 is 4.92 meters per second and the Milano clocks in at just over 5 meters per second. So when looking at the reload speed, the MP7 reloads in 1.97 seconds and the Milano reloads in 2.2 seconds. The rate of fire for the MP7 is 950 rounds per minute and the Milano comes in at 576 rounds per minute. So as we can see so far, the MP7 has good base stats, but let's take a look at the damage profile. The MP7 does 40 damage to the head, which means it's going to take 7 shots to down a fully plated enemy. The Milano does 58 damage to the head, which means it's going to take 5 shots to down a fully plated enemy. Note that this is the damage for the first base damage fall off, and the Milano offers up more range. Looking at the second damage drop off, we can see that the Milano offers up more damage than the MP7. The MP7 actually has 2 more damage drop-offs, but is very negligible as it only loses 1 damage to one of the body parts. Looking at the damage for the chest, stomach and extremities, we can see that the Milano crushes the MP7, and when moving on to the second damage drop-off, we can see that the Milano clearly puts out much more damage. But remember that the MP7 shoots almost twice the amount of bullets as the Milano, so let's check out the TTK for these weapons. The MP7 comes in at 379 milliseconds to the head, and the Milano comes in at 475 milliseconds. For the chest, the MP7 comes in at 568 milliseconds, and the Milano comes in at 579 milliseconds. The MP7 is looking really good here, but remember that this is the first damage drop-off, and the MP7 falls off at 10 meters. So let's take a look at the TTK after the last damage drop-off for both weapons. As you can see, the MP7 clearly wins the head TTK. We have an amazing TTK of 552 milliseconds. For the chest, the Milano has the upper hand at 743 milliseconds, while the MP7 comes in at 804 milliseconds. Let's come back to what all of this means in a minute. So let's check out the recoil pattern. We have the MP7 to the left and the Milano to the right. So as you can see, both weapons have very easy recoil patterns to control. The MP7 has a bit of a spread in the beginning, but then it tightens and becomes very easy to control. The Milano has an almost straight vertical recoil pattern until it hooks right. This can be a bit challenging at range, but the fire rate of the Milano makes it very controllable. Let's take a look at the attachments and I'm going to show you what the differences are after the weapons are fully kitted out. So the long range build is kinda niche and not really what I would run as my main build, but I always like to try new stuff and have some fun with different weapons. So for the long range build for the MP7, we take the monolithic suppressor, recon barrel, VLK 3x optic, commando foregrip and 60 round mag. For the normal build, I would take off the VLK and just run iron sights, and instead of the commando foregrip that is going to help you with range, we use the Merc foregrip as it helps with the hip fire. For the Milano, we take the agency suppressor, ranger barrel, 3x scope, field agent grip and 55 round mag. This is the long range build, but if you want to use it as a normal SMG, then you want to use this build. This gives much more mobility, quick ADS speeds without a scope. So let's see what weapon changes this actually gives us compared to a stock weapon. For the range, the MP7 gains 40% range and the Milano gains 10% range. The ADS speed will always increase as we increase the bullet velocity and range, so here the MP7 goes up to 310 milliseconds and the Milano goes up to 286 milliseconds. For the ADS movement speed, the MP7 goes up to 2.52 meters per second and the Milano goes up to 2.51 meters per second. For the bullet velocity, the MP7 ends up at 846 meters per second and the Milano ends up at 756 meters per second. Let's run with my final thoughts on these weapons. So this whole thing about the VLK optic on the MP7 was really just for fun, as it started out with everyone running the Milano with the 3x. I actually think the MP7 is a decent fast firing SMG. Will it ever be suitable for long range? Not really. It was definitely a lot of fun to test out, and if you hit headshots, the thing absolutely melts. It has one of the fastest TTKs to the head, and you can really feel that. Also in the MP7's favor, you have a high fire rate, which makes the weapon much more forgiving if you miss a few shots. Overall, I highly recommend that you test this MP7 build out, just for fun. I had a blast using it in Plunder, and don't forget to actually have fun, guys. That is why we're playing the game. That is it for this video, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't, and as always, I will see you legends in the next one.